One of the most common questions people ask as retirement gets closer is, should I live off dividends or should I sell shares? It sounds like a technical question, but underneath it, it's something much more emotional. The real question is, how do I pay myself from my portfolio without breaking it? In this video, I want to explain why this debate is often framed the wrong way and what actually matters when you're approaching retirement. The reason this question comes up so often is simple. Selling shares feels irreversible. Dividends feel safer, like you're only spending the income and leaving the capital intact. And when markets are volatile, the idea of selling into a downturn feels especially uncomfortable. That fear is completely understandable, and ignoring it usually leads to worse decisions, not better ones. But here's the part that's often misunderstood. Dividends aren't free money. When a company pays a dividend, the value of the company and the fund holding it drops by roughly the same amount. Economically, receiving a dividend and selling a small number of shares aren't that different. The difference is psychological, not mathematical. And psychology matters a lot in retirement. That said, dividends do have real value, just not in the way they're usually advertised. Regular income can reduce the need to sell assets during bad markets. It can make cash flow more predictable. And for many people, it makes retirement spending feel calmer and more controlled. Those benefits aren't trivial. In fact, they can be the difference between sticking to a plan and abandoning it at the worst possible moment. The real risk in retirement isn't whether income comes from dividends or sales. The real risk is being forced to sell assets when markets are down, especially early in retirement. That's called sequence of returns risk, and it's far more damaging than most people realize. Anything that reduces forced selling during bad periods increases the odds that your plan survives. This is how I think about it for myself. I don't see dividends and selling shares as opposing strategies. I see them as tools. Portfolio income covers part of my living cost, cash buffers cover volatility, and selective selling fills the gaps when conditions are reasonable. The goal isn't to avoid selling forever, it's to avoid selling at the wrong time. Where people get into trouble is when they become dogmatic. I will never sell shares, or dividends are inefficient, just sell. Retirement doesn't reward purity, it rewards flexibility. A strategy you can stick with through bad markets is usually better than a theoretically optimal one you abandon under stress. So, what actually matters? Reliable cash flow, sensible withdrawal rates, diversification across income sources, and enough flexibility to adapt when markets don't cooperate. Whether that cash comes from dividends, bond coupons, rental income, or selling shares is secondary. The primary goal is resilience. If you're feeling uneasy about how you'll fund retirement, that's not a failure, it's awareness. In the next video, I'll talk about sequence of returns risk in more detail and why it's the risk most retirees underestimate. If this video was useful to you, consider subscribing. Have a good day and see you in the next video.